Welcome to the Quonset hut we affectionately call Mike's shop. 9 months ago, Mike and I picked out this monkeypod wood to create stand-up desks for several of the staff for the Keystone project. Not only is the wood gorgeous, but we got a great deal buying so much of it at once. We began by measuring the slabs and deciding who would get which size slabs. Each desk will be made up of 2 slabs of wood, joined together, sanded down, and then attached to the bases we were able to buy off of Amazon. For all 3 monkeypod desks, we looked at their edges and decided which one had the most uniqueness to it that we would want to show in the front. The guys traded out a dull blade, put in a fresh one, and got ready to get to work. This seems like a good time to highlight Mike's deep love for his Festool brand tools. I have certainly heard him say a half dozen times how much these tools are worth every penny he has spent on them. We started a fun collection of scraps outside. It's hard to bear the idea of getting rid of any of this beautiful wood. But straight sides join better to straight sides to create full-size desks. Mike and I share a love of paying attention to the tiny details on job sites, and having the wood line up in just the way we wanted it to for the best detail and design was high on our list. I particularly liked this set of slabs and the way they came together after we cut them. Mike was kind to allow me to advise which side I preferred the most.
Do you want me to take this out?
Yes. Very nice. Wow.
It's gonna look really nice.
Yeah. Mike and Dylan went across every desk and made marks where they would put the joining dominoes between the 2 sides. I still remember the day Mike and I had the epiphany that we could build desks with real wood, add-on bases, and pay for labor, all for the same price as laminate wood. This monkeypod is not going to disappoint. After marking where the joining dominoes would go, Mike brought in the joiner that digs out a hole for the domino to fit in and cut them at the equal lengths that he had drawn for each side so that they will match up perfectly. After drilling all the desks, Mike and Dylan went through and tapped in the dominoes and were prepared to wedge the 2 sides of each desk together. Now this is our longest desk, and it proved to be quite an issue. At some point here in a moment, you will see how uneven the wood is to actually match together. This locally sourced kiln-dried wood that we bought was stored for the last 10 months, so it makes a lot of sense that it wasn't exactly flat. The guys had to work super hard, and it did take a while. I had to speed up this film for you. They put the little airbags that they could pump up underneath. They fooled around with it a bit. Thanks to some muscles, a hammer, they actually got it all in. I'll be honest, this is the first desk building I've actually witnessed with my own eyes. So this particular step was a surprise to me, but I found it quite brilliant. Dylan cut out 4 blocks per desk. Then he is going to go attach them to each of the desks on the selvage edge, where we will later cut off the edge of each desk. Mike and Dylan then attached the blocks with screws to each edge of the desk, added the glue, and used the blocks to help clamp the 2 sides of the desks together. Personally, I love learning the tricks that a carpenter has up his sleeves to accomplish furniture building. I love the uniqueness of the wood here, and it'll be on the underside for someone to enjoy. This little remnant will be a side table in another room. Our 4th desk is actually made out of mango wood and will be L-shaped. Here you can see they actually screwed it right into the workbench to hold it in place. After the glue had dried, Dylan came back in and sanded all of the desks, giving them smooth edges, soft tops, making sure there was no splinter, no rough edges, no sharp corners, taking off bits of the bark. It took a lot of work to sand them all down.
So it says this should not be applied over red mahogany stains.
Well, that's never a problem for us.
It shouldn't be, unless you pick a red mahogany for this.
You would never let me choose a red mahogany. You would fire me on the spot. After the sanding was complete, Dylan did some tests for us with stain and with poly just by itself to see if we liked the plain color of the wood. Mike and I looked them over and decided that all the desks would just have clear coat put on them.
Yeah, I'd let it dry.
Here they tried to fill in some of the cracks. We really love the perfections and imperfections of the raw wood. This particular sample piece is from the mango wood desk, and we looked at what it looked like with stain and just plain, and in comparison to the monkeypod wood. For the mango desk, we decided that we would stain it. Here you can see it just gives it a little bit of warmth and covers over some of the natural yellow that came out of the mango wood. We ordered standing desk bases right off of Amazon and were able to attach them to the bottom of each desk. This was the requests of these staff members. Mike and Dylan are especially good at being very exact, so they marked every hole where they needed to put a screw with their trusty Sharpie.
Eddie.
With all 3 monkeypod desks completed, they loaded them up into the van and moved them to storage. Once there, they applied the final top coat of poly. Here you can see the finished product, our 3 monkeypod wood standing desks. Each of them is unique, different in length, different in design, different in detail, and the same price as a cheap laminate desk.